Hello and welcome back to Just Browsing. You guys, it's been like a hot minute, I think. Like I don't remember the last time like I was sitting down chatting with you guys, but it's definitely been like a week or so. It's been a minute. I would say spring is in full effect, but I was literally 44 degrees like today and yesterday, so like I can't really like claim that as spring unfortunately. But today we have a really special episode. Talk about the arts. We have the arts IRL. I have them IRL, but like you can hopefully live vicariously through me because like I'm going to be living for the writers of George. We have three lovely ladies today who are going to be talking about their George article. George is FBA's spring magazine launching April 24th, 2026. Write that down in your calendar. April 24th, 2026. George will be launching. I got a little sneak preview of the cover and it's really, really fierce. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode because we're getting into some niches, we're getting into some depth and some culture. Some culture. So I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, our first guest is Alexa. Yay!
Hi everyone.
Everyone say hi to Alexa.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce yourself before we get into this interview?
Sure. I'm Alexa. I'm a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time on the pod.
Yes.
I've been wanting to come for a while because
Mm-hmm.
my beautiful friend Tyler here really serves with it. I'm a journalism and art history major.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, why thank you.
Do you want to introduce your article and then we could get into it?
Yeah. So I wrote about hippies. My article was titled "Make Love Not War: The Hippie Movement and Politics." Um, I mean, I've always just like found hippies very intriguing. Um, and just like in general, 60s and 70s pop culture, which is kind of like one of the reasons that I chose this topic.
Yeah.
I mean, like I love Joan Didion, and she, covered the hippie movement in like 1967, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Went for one of her books. She like went to Haight-Ashbury in California, and kind of just looked at it. So I've always really liked the hippie movement. I found it really interesting.
I love that.
Oh, why thank you.
So would you say there was any inspiration behind this besides like the fact that you're just like you just really enjoyed it?
I mean, whenever I'm like with my friends and like frolicking in the grass
Mm-hmm.
and such, like we lay in the grass
Yeah.
and like I'm wearing like a long skirt.
Yes.
I'm like, even though I'm like really not like whatsoever, in my head I'm like, oh, like I'm embodying hippie movement.
Yeah.
And like when I'm like listening to like my Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, I'm like, oh, like I'm a hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So for research, was it more so just like your own interest throughout time that you compiled together, or did you have to do like other research besides like the previous knowledge you already had when making this?
I feel like definitely a mix of the two. I obviously did have some of the research. Like I really like history, so
Mm-hmm.
like in terms of like obviously again like I had the knowledge from like Joan Didion's like Slouching Towards Bethlehem. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to that book. Really good book. And also just in general like the hippie movement was around like the Vietnam War and stuff, and just like learning in like history classes about that. I feel like that kind of gave me like a good basis.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff was really like whenever I'm doing kind of like research about fashion, I use like Substack a lot of the time. I know.
I love
Yeah,
Substack.
No, me too. Do you?
Yeah,
We
yes.
talked
Are
about
you
this?
kidding? I mean, like, no, like before
God.
bed when like I don't want to scroll on my phone, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go on Substack.
No, I love Substack, and I mean, like like I have a radio show where I
Yes.
talk about music and fashion, so I'm always like researching different like subcultures and stuff like that, and I'm always using Substack for
Yeah.
it because people write about the most niche topics, which I love. Like
Yeah.
I love a random topic. It's so fun.
Yeah, like Substack, if you're seeing this, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
Like we are
Sponsor the pod.
we are diehard fans.
Yeah.
So would you say like when going into writing, do you kind of just like not like word vomit, but like throw a bunch of things out there, or just like try and go rough draft and then like go back and edit it, or like are you writing, doing research and going back in?
I'm kind of like I feel like writing as I do an outline first,
Mhm.
big outliner, and
Same.
then I kind of just do it off of that. I'm like not a quick writer. Like I wish I could say I was, but I feel like I don't really do like first, second draft. It's more like my first draft is kind of like what I usually go with
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
most part. Like I feel like every sentence I write, I'm like kind of like thoughtful with it, and that's why I kind of take a long time
Right.
in terms of writing. So
I mean, slow and steady
no, like slow and steady.
wins the race.
And I mean, I did like to be fair, I did kind of leave my George interview, or not my George interview, my George hippie article thing to the last minute.
Okay,
unfortunately.
perfect.
So I did kind of write it like within like a day or two.
Yeah.
But I had fun with it, and like I wrote it in a coffee shop, and
Oh my
it was
god.
lovely. I was drinking a little lavender matcha, and I had fun with it.
Oh, lavender. I don't like lavender matcha.
Oh, maybe you should work on that.
I know. I think it's way too floral. Like I went to Maman and I tried their
That's-
cherry blossom one, and I was like,
Oh,
I'm just eating flowers and whatnot.
I've been I've been not going to Maman. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
And because I actually really like their lavender matcha there, but I had to stop going because a barista asked me out, so I had to stop. I haven't gone.
I'm crying. I was there and I think I got like an oat milk matcha and like a vegan cookie, and she was dead ass like, "Are you a vegan?" I was like, "Sometimes, yeah."
No,
like,
I know. I had to like stop going, but
That's
I know, like it's really unfortunate because I used to go there to do work like all the time last semester.
Yeah.
And I've had to.
You
quit.
no longer frequent there? No, yeah, I get it.
No.
Yeah. So you made a Pinterest board, right, to like help curate the vibes, the themes.
Yeah.
What would you say like was your inspo? Like what were you looking for? You're looking for colors, patterns, like
I mean, I feel like Pinterest. I just love Pinterest.
another I feel like that and Substack, it's like okay, perfect.
Like yeah, like literally
okay,
like those are my girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of just like I feel like I already kind of have a lot of like hippie vibe stuff on my Pinterest board.
Mm-hmm.
And just like kind of coming up in like my feed. I guess I just like looked up hippie. I looked up like little like terms like Haight Ashbury, like Woodstock 1969 and such. And then I kind of just played around with it that way. I feel like I have like a pretty good eye for like curating things.
No,
like,
I feel like you do.
I mean, like I work retail and stuff.
Yeah,
so
true.
I feel like I'm like
consignment.
Yeah, like
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, like I'm always I'm playing with mannequins.
Yeah.
And, like always styling stuff. So
no,
I'm,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I kind of, I don't know. I didn't want it for like the shoot to feel like it was trying to like imitate the era, but more of like modern take on it. I wasn't actually able to go to the shoot because I was working.
I mean, got that clock in.
Yeah,
Come on, someone has to now.
But I mean, it was really cool. I think something I would have liked for there to be was doing like little like protest posters.
Okay, yes.
That was like something that was kind of in my vision that I thought would have been fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, it's so interesting that you say that, because I was just about to ask you like if there was anything like important about this movement or like era in which it took place that like added to the inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like when I was thinking about, like obviously the George topic is like the politics and fashion, and hippies kind of came to mind because a big part of hippies was kind of like about promoting peace and
like lots of social movements.
Yeah, and like the protesting, like the Vietnam War and stuff like that. So that definitely like came to mind with it. But I also feel like with just writing it, I was kind of trying to, because like I feel like a lot of people romanticize the hippie movement because it like looks like from the photos like on my Pinterest board, for instance, like it like looks so like fun and like everyone's like frolicking and like it's cool. But then there was also obviously like a really negative side to it, like just like the general like drug use and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like in, for instance, Slouching Towards Bethlehem, there was like this little like narrative part in it about this like 5-year-old that was like on LSD and was
God.
Yeah, and it's just like really sad.
That is really sad
because people like forget about that stuff. They only think about like the cool stuff with it. And also just in general, like hippie fashion, I feel like when people like look at like for like let's say like festival fashion today,
I mean Coachella's
like
coming
Coachella.
up.
Okay, so people always are like, oh, like I'm being like hippie-esque, but then they forget that like hippies low-key like kind of cultural appropriation. And obviously it's like a matter of like appreciation or appropriation.
Right.
Like a lot of like the key fashion, like the Afghan coats and like like the flowy
Yeah,
silhouettes.
right.
They represent things from different like Middle Eastern cultures and stuff like that. Or like so I just like with my article I wanted people to realize that
There's more than just
yeah.
cute clothes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm really obsessed. Like,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. Like, no notes. Like,
And
you
no
really,
notes.
you hit everything. Like, that was
Thank you,
amazing.
Snaps. Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add? This will be linked in the, what's it called, girl? The caption? It'll be linked down below for all you baddies to read and consume. I love consuming media. Yeah.
We know you do.
Yeah. My screen time is
My friend Tyler definitely likes consuming media.
Yeah, no, it's for another time.
Yeah,
it's for another time.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, I feel like you really covered it, Mr. Interviewer.
That's all you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Period.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I've had such a good time getting insight into the hippie culture. I honestly, I really did learn a lot. I didn't know that there was all this behind it. I really thought it was just drugs and like flowy skirts.
Yeah, which like obviously like it is that in a sense, and like love that, and like when I'm in the grass, I'm like like
I
that's
mean
me.
Adjacent, yeah.
Like you know me, like
right.
Obviously, but it's more than that. It's complex.
Yeah, it is.
Like every fashion like subculture, very complex. So.
Yeah, there's more than just what's at the surface.
Yeah.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, snaps for that.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, I am joined with our second guest. Her name is Michaela, and yeah, I'm just gonna let her take it away. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Michaela. I'm a sophomore. I'm currently majoring in political science, and then I'm minoring in journalism and mass communication and law and society.
Ooh,
so that's a little.
I love that. Do you wanna introduce your article before we dive into it?
Yeah, so my article is called The Pattern of Power, Polka Dots, and it's basically just about the history of polka dots and then kind of the political significance. I mean, the polka dot obviously is, you can't avoid it now in anything on any website, but it's been that way for decades, and so I kind of wanted to analyze and examine, why it was resurging at certain points, why it has stayed so prevalent in fashion.
I feel like I'm always seeing polka dots.
Exactly.
So timeless.
So that's pretty much why I decided to.
Yeah. Were you a big polka dot wearer? Are you a big polka dot wearer, would you say?
I mean, yes and no. It really depends on how it's styled. But I would say, I noticed my friends wearing it. I noticed it on TikTok. I noticed it pretty much everywhere. And so that kind of inspired me because I knew when I was thinking of article ideas that I wanted to write about something that was relevant. And I think because each year we see a different pattern kind of get popular. It was plaid. It was florals,
I was just about to say yes.
And so I so I knew that I wanted to do something with the polka dot because it was so relevant to everyone that would be reading.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I always am seeing polka dots. Research-wise, how would you say you go about that? Because, I feel like it really is such an interesting topic.
Definitely. There's definitely a lot on it, so it was a little daunting. So I kind of outlined what I wanted to write about and then kind of researched from there. So I started with the history and kind of figuring it out. I mean, polka dots go so far back. It's insane. They go back there's shibori dyeing from the Japanese, which goes back, I believe there's evidence of 700 BC or something like that. So that's the first of polka dots. And then it repopularized in Europe in the 1800s. And so it's been around for a while. So that made it a little more daunting.
Yeah. There's so much.
But I knew that the best source would be looking at actual runway shows. So Vogue Runway was my best friend.
Of course.
They have collections and
they
you
have
can
everything.
search through.
Oh.
So I could search polka dot and all the collections with polka dots.
Oh, that's perfect.
So it was amazing. And that's kind of how I tackled it. And then from there, it was kind of just dumbing it down and whatnot for me to understand.
So would you say when you started writing it, you said you had an outline at first, right? Would you say from there, in your outline, are you just dumping all the information in and then first draft and then you're going back and curating and doing research? How did you go about that?
I would say I did my outline. I kind of put articles where I thought they would belong for the outline. So for my article, it was kind of easier because I broke it down into history and sections. So it was in a timeline almost. So from there, I found articles, I put them up in there, I did all the research, and
Yeah.
then I kind of word vomited, and from there, went through a couple different drafts to kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
pare it down a bit
Yeah.
and make it actually publishable.
Yeah, no, that's such a good idea. I feel like like an outline is always the way to go. I feel like I
Yes.
went so long without making an outline, then I was like, you know what? Let me just try
I
it.
know, it makes your life way easier.
I
and you
know.
don't
Who was gonna tell you an
realize,
outline
so-
earlier? No, yeah. So what was your inspiration be? Because you said like a lot of your friends would wear polka dots and you'd see
Yeah.
it all over your timeline.
Definitely, definitely. I would say the Yayoi Kusama, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing her name right. She did a collab with Louis Vuitton. I feel like a lot of people probably know about it. She's an artist and she uses the polka dots a lot. And it was actually in my research that I decided to make. So originally, let me backtrack. Originally, I was going to write just about polka dots and kind of
Yeah.
the print and everything like that. And then I decided to tie it into the politics because she actually wrote a letter to Richard Nixon condemning the Vietnam War.
Okay.
And it referenced the earth as a polka dot. And I thought that was just so
Wait, that is so
interesting
interesting.
and cool and kind of showed how art and politics really connect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that was kind of my inspiration. And then obviously her collection which was very popular for Louis Vuitton. And then from there, it was just kind of
Yeah.
research and research.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm just like the polka dot on the earth. That is so
It was
interesting.
I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something how we're all polka dots in the universe, and then we all have so much hatred, but then everyone around, or all the other polka dots around us are so peaceful. It was really interesting.
I really like
don't know, it was
that.
cool, yeah.
Yeah. So when it came to the photo shoot, I mean, obviously, like you wrote about polka dots, but like,
Yeah.
did you like what went into that? Because it seems like there's a lot more here than just like polka dots, but like obviously, like you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I feel like for the photo shoot, obviously, I wanted to kind of show aspects of different decades. So you have like the 60s mod where it's a little more traditional, and then you have the 90s where they kind of have this pared down polka dot, the 80s, which is like crazy color. So I kind of wanted to bring all that in. It was my first ever shoot, so I
That's
kind
so
of let the
fun.
models do their thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, you guys do it, and then I'll kind of go from there. I knew I wanted some movement because it's such a fun pattern, and I kind of wanted that fun energy in captured in the photos. But yeah, I kind of just let the models do what they wanted to do, and decided from there what worked.
I love that. Why do you feel, to you at least, like this was like important? I mean, obviously besides the fact that it was so interesting,
Yeah.
like was there anything behind that?
I mean, in general, I feel like a lot of people have this perception of fashion where it's just kind of very surface level, and it's just the clothes people are wearing on the runway. And that's great marketing from the fashion houses, so good for them. But I think that a lot of people, I always think of the Miranda Priestley like monologue from Devil Wears Prada, where she talks about the cerulean blue, and I think that's right.
Yes.
I think that's so relevant.
Oh, I'm so ready for the second one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. But I think that's so relevant to polka dots and just fashion in general because people don't understand how much impact it has and how much it represents what's happening in the world, what people are thinking, how society is acting.
Yeah.
So I think from my article, I just kind of wanted to convey that and show that to the readers.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it on the pod before. It is so interesting how any bit of like we've talked from like full outfits to sneakers to brooches, how it can just like influence like it in politically speaking as well. Like it's like you don't even think about it.
Don't think about it. I literally was talking to a woman and she was saying how the global supply chains and all of this impact fashion, impact what people are wearing. And so I think that's just something a lot of people aren't thinking about when they're putting on their clothes and things like that.
I totally agree. Is there anything like just like an overall, because I think we had a lot of things and I've honestly learned so much. Like I really just came in here thinking it was just like some pattern. But is there any like overarching theme that you want like a viewer to take away, anyone in the audience to take away?
I mean, not necessarily an overarching theme. We kind of touched on it, but just that the patterns you're wearing and the colors you're wearing and everything you're wearing,
they come from somewhere.
There's an impact to that. There's a reason that's showing up on your feed and that's showing up in different clothing stores. So I think that's like the biggest thing.
No, I feel like that summed it up perfectly. Well, if you have any other final thoughts you want to add, I mean, I really learned a lot.
No, I think you were great.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
As I said before, this will be linked in the bio. I'm like,
link in bio.
Link in bio. You guys consume that media. If you're gonna consume media, make sure it's something like scholarly.
Right. Right.
Make sure it's scholarly. That's all I have to say. Well, thank you so much for
Perfect.
coming
Thank you
on.
for having
Of
me.
course. Last and finally not least of this very educational Just Browsing episode, I am joined by Liza. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Of course. Okay, well, my name is Liza. I'm a creative writing major at GW, and I minor in psychology and journalism, which you'll see is very tied into what I wrote my article
Ooh.
about.
So, do you want to just get into what's your article?
Okay, so my article is called Pretty Vicious. The title came from one of my favorite bands called The Struts, and it is about, the song initially is about just a girl who's kind of owning herself. But the reason why I took it a different direction is because I'm very interested in the mental health. I've had a lot of mental health struggles, and a lot of my friends have had mental health struggles. And I think one of the biggest things about it is that there's such a stigma around it. So when writing this article, I want it to be the pretty, which is the outside and what people all see, but then the vicious to be what's kind of within and what's trying to come out and what sometimes does come out when mental health can kind of get to a certain point where it's really consuming.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I guess like your inspiration would say, I mean, it's like kind of like horrible to say, but like through like experiences like with yourself and like other people around you dealing with mental health. So research wise, how did you go about that?
I definitely chose my friends I know have struggled with mental health specifically. I interviewed a few people, but then I had to, it was a really long article when I first put it together because I wanted to do everyone's story justice. So I did end up choosing my childhood best friend, who obviously I know very well, and she's had a lot of family struggles, and she's been through hospitals, and she's been really struggling with mental health her whole life. And I think a lot of people always see that from the outside of her because they also, like, she expresses herself in very, like, her style is super unique. I think people kind of look at her and see mental health disorder because she's different than other people.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of wanted to talk about is that I wanted to show the expression of fashion through who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I have OCD, and it can get kind of violent sometimes. And a lot of mine, I wear a lot of like darker clothes, and I'm definitely not goth, but some people like to describe it as like alternative, I guess. And I guess that kind of fits in with just the way my mind works.
Yeah, that's so interesting how you like did that. So when writing, I know we've talked about like outlines before, and like with research, would you say like you use an outline, or it's just like word vomit all into a page, or first draft and you're researching and then you're going back and like tweaking it?
So I did kind of had an initial outline, but I wanted to get all my interviews done first because I wanted to see how they would flow together. Because also being a creative writing major, I'm big about flow. I do think that in journalism, it's very straight to the point, but the way that I like to write is I like there to be a story. And since I'm telling other people's stories, that was very important to me when going through this. So I got the different people's stories, and I thought about how I could flow them through one another, and at the same time I also put smaller tidbits in between each larger story talking about how the fashion industry itself can affect mental health.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. When talking about like the photo shoots, I'm really interested to see like your thought process when like planning the photo shoot and then like executing that, specifically because I feel like your topic, it's not like how do I say, like, it's not like the polka dots or the like the hippies. It's just like from a different angle. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so I did want the fashion. It was kind of broad. I wanted people to look like they're going out and just going to a party, because how it's like that classic going out clubbing and it ends up turning like a shit night. You see your guy dancing with someone else. Like you drink too much. You just have a whole breakdown. So
you're
that's
saying the worst thing. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be like. I didn't want to contain anyone to a specific style. I wanted everyone to come with their own clothing.
Unique. That's so cool.
But that it slowly starts to become disheveled throughout the photo shoot process. So we had ones where they're all inside, everything's perfect, they're drinking, they're getting ready, and then they're outside, their makeup's a little bit smeared, they're looking a little bit drunk, and then they're inside, like crying on the toilet, laying on the kitchen floor. Just everything's looking a little bit more disheveled, and we have some just a kind of an underlying sinister tone, which is supposed to be the vicious being brought out, but also trying to emphasize like this is completely normal. Because the whole purpose of the article was to also help people feel less alone in their own mental health struggles. And so I want people to look at these pictures and be like, hey, I'm not alone. Like,
Exactly.
everyone has these nights.
No, yeah, and I think that's so important too, because I feel like there is such a crazy stigma. I mean, even now in 2026, like there's such a negative stigma around people who have mental health problems, and it's so it's so cool to hear you say that you did like the different scenes, and as like someone who is having trouble mentally, but then you like portrayed into like physical manifestations of like a night out, and it's like a story, and I really appreciate that, because I can imagine myself and like I've seen each one of those scenes like
Yep.
tenfold, and
there.
that's so interesting. You already talked about sort of why this is important. Is there anything else you want to like add to that?
I mean, I guess it was also just important for me to share my friends' stories. Like, one of my other friends, Morgan, she grew up in South Carolina, and she explained it was really hard for her to express herself as gay in South Carolina, so she had to present herself as straight for most of the time, and that was her perfect exterior. And then coming to GW, she felt like she was able to express that.
Yeah.
So a lot of it talked about mental health, and then a lot of it talked about how you were able to find yourself and express yourself through fashion, and also sometimes how the fashion industry can worsen your mental health. So it's kind of like the battle back and forth. I didn't want to present it as just one or the other, because it is sometimes like seeing fashion models can make me feel insecure, but I feel my best when I'm in clothes that make me feel good. So I know that it's not black and white. It's
Right.
very much gray.
No, I love that. Yeah, that is so cool, because I don't even know, like I just am speechless. Like you really just like ate with that. Like that is so cool.
Thank you.
That is so cool. Is there anything you want to like overarching theme ask like anyone in the audience or any of the viewers to take away besides the fact that it's really fucking cool?
Stay vicious.
Yeah.
Stay vicious.
I
That's
love
my final
that.
word, stay vicious.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on and being so pretty and vicious and vulnerable. I think
Guys.
people like don't do it enough, and I even myself try and embrace it too, because it's so hard when like everything's easier said than done, and you see everyone on social media or in person, and you try and compare yourself. Like it's just the worst, and the mental like snowball just really takes a toll on you. So I appreciate you bringing such light to it that isn't negative or stigmatized. I think it's really interesting.
Just wanted to show people something.
Yes, I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was so
you.
much fun.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Well. After 3 amazing guests ranging from every neck of the woods, I don't know how else to put that. It was honestly like when I came to the studio, like I was not expecting to learn and be like as educated afterwards, if that makes sense, after these interviews. But I'm really like inspired. This is so cool. Her article will also be linked down in the bio. Please read all of them. They are so cool. These girls are so talented. Yeah, you guys are seriously missing out if you're not. Yeah, I'm honestly stunned. Like I love the range. What can I say? I love the range here at GW. Yeah. One more time, George will be out April 24th. Don't forget to get it. The cover, like I said before, is really fierce. You're going to want to see the articles. You're going to want to see the photo shoots. You're going to want more. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope everyone watching enjoyed this as much as I did. I hope you have a lovely weekend or rest of your week whenever this comes out. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.